Hello and welcome to Anfield Agenda. My name is Conor and I'm going to take you through all of the latest Liverpool news after the weekend which saw the Reds beat Brighton 2 goals to nil, a brace from Hugo Ekitike, who has been in red hot form recently. We're going to be talking about Ekitike and Alexander Isak. We're going to be talking about Mo Salah's situation. We're going to be looking at the manager's situation and a few other bits and pieces. So please do hit the like button before we get into it. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, and yeah, let's jump straight into the news. Let's start off with the Brighton game then. So, of course, the Reds did pick up all 3 points. A 2-0 victory. We looked far more solid, I would say, yet we still did concede a lot of chances. We could have conceded a few goals. But look, a clean sheet is a clean sheet. A win is a win. And good to see Hugo Ekitike banging himself 2 goals as well. Mohamed Salah, of course, did come on after Joe Gomez got an injury, which was just... People were saying it was like staged and stuff. I just... Genuinely, I think if you think that was staged, I think you do need to just go and seek help. Like, I don't know why the players would plan that, what benefit there would be to doing this, why the players would go along with it. I just, no part of me whatsoever thinks that was staged. But I will admit, of course, that it was a very, like, fantasy moment. It was very much like if there was script writers in football, this certainly would have been what happened. Mo Salah comes on to save the day when a player goes down injured. Played quite well when he came on as well, to be fair. Got himself the assist from the corner for Hugo Ekitike. Definitely seemed to pass the ball more. I noticed that even the first touch of his ball. No, that's not what I meant to say. The first touch of the ball that he got, I was thinking this is like proper Mo territory to try bend it into the far corner, but he instantly looked for a pass, and that did seem to happen a few times as well. I think he's definitely being careful not to be labelled as selfish as this all going on. Like, he definitely was looking for a pass more than taking a shot. He looked terrified to shoot at times, to be fair, and probably should have scored. There was one or two chances where he had a very good chance of putting the ball in the back of the net, but ultimately he missed. But look, we won the game. Salah looked good. He heads off to AFCON now. That to me did not look like a goodbye. I think like the mixed reports around it have been weird. Like, some people have been saying like in the media that like that looked like he was saying goodbye. He looked tearful. Like, I thought he looked happy enough, to be honest. I thought he seemed to clap the fans, but not too much, not to the extent that like is he soaking this in as his last ever moment at Anfield? Like, I don't think that's the case at all. I think he'll head off to AFCON now. I think he will come back. Look, whether his long-term future is at Liverpool or not remains to be seen. Would he be happy with a bit part role in this? Like, I don't think he would be, but I think he himself will think he can force himself back into Arne Slot's thinking because, like I said, he was good against Brighton. He heads off to AFCON now. Hopefully he can go and win the thing with Egypt just to spite Jamie Carragher, if nothing else. And then come back, force his way into the plans again, and then go from there. I think short term we will figure this out. I think he will stay at Liverpool until at least the summer, in my opinion. But then after that, I'm not sure, to be honest. So let's see how the next few months pan out, how AFCON goes for him, and how we get on without him. Like, if we go on a mad winning run now where we look really good, we found a system that works without Salah, he then comes back from AFCON. It's very hard to make a case for, like, I have to start every single game if we've just played 5 or 6 games, won them all without him comfortably. In that scenario, that definitely would be tricky for him to make his way back into the team. But look, let's see how it goes. I'm giving the manager the benefit of the doubt for the minute. Like, I'm still not fully Arne Slot in, I will say that. But look, I'm not going to be shouting for his head when we're winning games because that doesn't make sense, I don't think, ultimately. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll see how the next few weeks go. We'll then reconvene and discuss it all again. But look, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for the next few weeks. So see how we get on. Give him a chance. See can we get this rolling, like this kind of 4-4-2 diamond we've been playing, or the 4-2-3-1 with like Szoboszlai out on the right. It does seem to be making a bit of a difference. And then Hugo Ekitike, of course, on top of that. Let's move on to him. Like, he's been fantastic the last 2 games. He's been absolutely electric. 4 goals in 2 games. Could easily have had a hat-trick in both, amount of chances he had, and the fact he was taken off earlier against Leeds in particular. But he just looks so good. And if you're putting him and Isak beside each other, and you're telling me to pick out the one that looks like a £130 million striker, it's certainly not Alexander Isak at the minute. I want to read this out then from Anfield Watch, who had a piece this morning basically saying that like Hugo Ekitike is Liverpool's next superstar. He's kind of overshadowing Alexander Isak at the minute, and I can't really disagree, to be honest. So this says, against Leeds, Ekitike scored a brace, and just 2 games later, he did the same against Brighton. That's now 4 goals in 3 games, a patch of form similar to his start the season, and he's got 10 goals and an assist to show for his efforts, a really admirable return for a young striker by December. In comparison, Isak has played just over half of Ekitike's minutes and only got 3 assists. In comparison, Isak has played just over half of Ekitike's minutes and only got 3 goals and assists. Now, that shocks me, to be honest, because it feels like Ekitike has played a hell of a lot more than Isak, and like to see that Isak has played just over half of Ekitike's minutes, I don't want to say it's damning, but like it certainly would kind of highlight the struggles that Isak has had so far. And look, I'm by no means writing him off. He will come good eventually, but there's no denying like he hasn't been good enough yet. Hasn't been getting involved in play enough. Like we've seen glimpses here and there, but as a whole, Ekitike has just been miles above him. Like I have to be honest on that one. The piece continues then. The ex-Newcastle star had previously been brandished the world-class tag, and while he's still got loads of ability still to reveal across the remainder of his time at Liverpool, it's clear that Ekitike has taken his chances more regularly. He's our best striker, no doubt. And I'd have to agree with that. And this run of form is particularly timely with Salah's departure. The Egyptian played well when he came on against Brighton, going on to assist Ekitike for a second goal, which wrapped up the game in Liverpool's favour, but it was the Frenchman's early goal that set the tone. And what we've learned from Salah's absence is that Slot can manage without his star right winger at times, and that again is a very interesting thing to look ahead in the next few weeks. Like, do we deploy Ekitike and Isak together, or do we start to see Federico Chiesa get some minutes? God knows he won't be starting him, but maybe he will get a few more minutes because he needs to. Like, he just has to now. Like, Salah's going to be gone. We have even less options up front. Like, we have to rotate. Chiesa has to get more minutes. Engamoha has to get more minutes. I seen a stat about him the other day. Like, he's played something like 14 minutes in the last 10 games or something ridiculously low like that. And with Salah gone, like, we have to start relying on these players. We have to get Isak into form. Ekitike can carry the team to an extent, but he can't be doing all of the heavy lifting. He needs support. He needs other players like Isak to step up and really make a mark on this team as well. So look, not writing Isak off by any stretch, but there's no doubt that he has been far below Ekitike's performances so far. And like I said, that stat saying that he's played over half of Ekitike's minutes, that has really surprised me, because I would have said it was about a quarter maybe. It feels like Ekitike has been on the pitch a lot more than Isak, but look, stats don't lie in this regard, do they? Few quick bits around the managerial situation then. Like I said, I'm going to give Arne Slot the benefit of the doubt for the minute. I'm not quite Arne Slot in again. I still am probably leaning towards out overall. But look, we can't go sacking him now after beating Inter Milan and Brighton. Like, it's not going to happen in the next few weeks. I think like the next 6 or 10 games will tell us a lot. But moving on from that anyway, just to break some bad news. I know people have been screaming for this man to come back to Liverpool. They're saying he's a club legend. They want him back in if Slot goes. But I'm sorry, Brendan Rodgers is no longer available. I'm really sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news, but Brendan Rodgers is no longer an option for Liverpool, and it's hard. It's tough. It's really tough considering where he's going as well. Let me get into it. So David Ornstein broke this morning saying Al Quadzia close to agreement with Brendan Rodgers to become new head coach. It's just another young prospect ruined by going off to Saudi. It's just heartbreaking to read this kind of thing. I'm sorry. 52-year-old available after Celtic exit, travelling over as work continues to finalise deal. Ambitious Aramco owned Al Quadzia 5th in the SPL and moved to new stadium in 2026. Brendan Rodgers off to Saudi. That was a surprising one to read this morning, but look, I think it probably makes sense for him. And the really interesting thing here is Al Quadzia are a team that have been linked with Mo Salah heavily if he's to move to the Saudi Pro League. So look, could we see Brendan Rodgers and Mo Salah linking up over in Saudi? Like, it could happen. Like, if it doesn't happen this January, if Salah does go over there in the summer, like, Al Quadzia is as likely a destination as any other team, to be fair. So we could see that. Brendan Rodgers and Mo Salah 2026. Who knows? To finish up on the serious part then, we do have a little bit on Steven Gerrard and the fact that he would jump at the opportunity to take over Liverpool if Arne Slot was sacked. So this comes from Football Insider, who said Steven Gerrard would jump at the opportunity to succeed Slot even on a stopgap basis. Steven Gerrard is very keen to return to Liverpool and would find it very difficult to reject an interim manager offer. Gerrard will be open to taking the reins on an interim basis should the opportunity arise. Gerrard managed Rangers and Aston Villa before embarking on an adventure, if that's one way to put it, with EKITIKE in the Saudi Pro League. He left his post earlier this year and hasn't taken another job since, but he would be willing to end his exile in order to take up the role at Anfield. Gerrard has got extensive experience of life as a coach at Liverpool too, and would no doubt bring some genuine heart and passion to the role. I would be fully on board with this. Like, if Arne Slot is sacked, Gerrard for a few months would do us absolutely no harm, as long as he's told he's not getting the job permanently. But then again, hear me out here for a second. Not saying this is necessarily the truth, but is there something to be said for the fact that Steven Gerrard went on an unbeaten run for the entire season with Rangers? Like, is it a case of, how do I even explain this? Take Vincent Kompany. When he was at Burnley in the Championship, they were the top team, and he knew how to dominate the league as the best team. But when they came to the Premier League, they were the weaker side and they couldn't dominate games the same as they used to in the Championship. He then makes a step up to Bayern Munich and starts winning titles. Like maybe, again, I'm not saying that Steven Gerrard and Vincent Kompany are on the same level here in terms of what they're actually doing as managers, but like, is there anything to be said for maybe if Gerrard had a dominating team in a league like he did with Rangers, that it could work? Like he went to Aston Villa, kind of a mid-table team at the time, and it didn't quite work. Maybe he is just a manager who needs to have the best quality players. So I'd actually be fascinated to see how he would get on with a Liverpool squad or like an Arsenal or a Man City. Like he's not going to go there obviously, but just in theory, it is one just to think about. Like, would he actually do better at a team that is actually good in the league? You know what I mean? Am I making any sense here whatsoever? Again, I wouldn't be giving it to him full time, but I would be fascinated to see how he would get on and how his tactics would work, in the sense that, like, if he was the best team in the league, could he dominate it the same as he did with Rangers? So please do let me know on that one. I could be talking absolute waffle. I don't really believe it myself, but just something to ponder, something to think about on a Monday morning. That's all from me anyway. If you have enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new. We'll have the podcast out in the afternoon. That's myself, Craig, and Chris. We'll be discussing Bradley Barcola links, Antoine Semenyo, looking back on the Brighton game, looking forward to the Spurs game, just everything really Liverpool. So please do keep an eye out for that one. It should be out before 5 p.m. Craig will be live, of course, then at 8:45 tonight, as always. So please keep an eye out for those. Hit the like button before you head out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.